All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome again to Candid Conversations with Win with Black Women and Sisters Lead, Sisters Vote. I'm Chantal Mullen, your host for the evening, and you are here with us this evening where we center truth, leadership, and power of the voices in our political process. This space is about more than politics. It's about building power. It's about asking the tough questions and hearing directly from the women who are stepping up to lead at every level. We know that Black women have been the backbone of our democracy, and here we create the space to engage, inform, and mobilize. Again, we have another exciting candidate to hear from tonight. Joining me is Rachel C. Green. Rachel, come on to the stage. Hi, how are you?
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Well, it is great for you to be here with us. You are getting ready. You are running. Tell us what you're running for.
Currently running for city commissioner here in the city of Millville here in New Jersey, located in Cumberland County, South Jersey, about 45 minutes from Atlantic City.
Okay. Well, we're just going to have a conversation because we want to hear about you and about your run. So what brought you to this moment? What made you decide that you were running for this office?
Well, it's not my first time running for office. I am a former school board president, elected position here in New Jersey, and was the first Black woman to be appointed once elected to the board into that position. So it's been a few years since I've run for office. I've always been behind the scenes since then, helping other wonderful candidates get elected to office. But what I've been seeing lately has catapulted me to step up and say, I can no longer stay behind the scenes. I want to step forward, help be a champion, not only for my family and community, but for my city. I want to take the talents and the knowledge and the experience that I have and bring that to the table to be able to make my city better.
Awesome. So what's your vision for the city? What is it that when you look and think about what is it that you want to accomplish? What's your vision?
Well, one of the main reasons my husband and I, it's ironic, we were looking for properties a few years ago. And, in a few of the counties we were looking, and my husband, on top of his list was a home we currently bought, which is here in Millville. And ironically enough, the opportunity came forward where we could purchase this home. And for my husband and I, I call this my little Hallmark town. I love the holiday parades. I love the quaintness of knowing your neighbors and, going next door and welcome them to the neighborhood and sharing dishes during the holidays. And that's what we do here in Millville. But lately I've been seeing it shift a little bit and change, and I'm concerned with that. I'm concerned with, the crime increase. I'm concerned with our students not having all the resources they need to be successful. I'm concerned with there not being resources in town for my fellow neighbors to be able to help them in their time of need. And I want to be able to work with my fellow commissioners, the county, the state, and at the federal level to be able to make sure those things are coming to Millville, New Jersey.
So, when you think about winning, and when you win, what are going to be your top 3 priorities in your first 100 days?
In my first 100 days, one of my first top priorities is diving into our budget. I want to look at that. I want to see where there's opportunities for efficiency, as well as opportunities for us to collaborate with other municipalities to be able to shore up some of the resources that are in town. We're heavily taxed here in Millville, and I want to be able to help alleviate that a little bit by bringing some grant opportunities and shared services with other municipalities into the town. I also want to start a Millville Pride campaign. I want folks to have great pride in their city. And that starts with communication, that starts with trust. And we all have to be talking to each other for that to happen. And unfortunately, right now, there's a lot of us not talking to each other. And it used to be no matter what your religious background, political background, you were able to sit down and break bread with each other and have a conversation. And unfortunately, those conversations are not happening. And it has a lot to do with the breakdown that's happening right now. Many of us have more in common than we do apart, to be frankly honest with you. And, I look forward to hopefully being a leader that's going to work with others to be able to bring our community together and tackle those first few issues, which is budgeting, safety, as well as bringing pride and efficiency to our town.
Okay. Well, one of the things that people are feeling right now is that government really isn't responsive to them. And so I've got a two-part question. One, how will you ensure that in your position, you would be responsive to those who most feel neglected? And then the second part of that question is, who are the people who are going to be at your table, who are always going to have a seat at your table?
Well, first of all, in order to make sure everyone is heard, in my opinion, you're going to have to make sure that you put mechanisms in place to make sure people understand how the process works, to be frankly honest with you. Most folks do not know how the process works. And with that being said, we're going to have to take it to them, to be honest with you. And we're going to have to put things in place to make sure resources are accessible to them, that they're able to have access to them. A lot of times folks don't know the nonprofits and the other organizations that are out there to help. They seem to only be accessible to those in the community that have access to internet and knowledgeable folks that are in their communities to be able to walk them through and concierge them through a particular process. I want to make sure as a commissioner of the city of Millville, that we make sure we have a page on our website that lists these resources that people have quick, easy access to. And if you're not able to do that or have that, I want to take it to them. I want us to be traveling around the community at least several times a year and take those resources to folks in the community to make sure that we're putting it in their hands, that they have accessibility to that. And I apologize, Chantel, please give me the second part of your question again, please.
Oh, it is, who is always going to have a seat at your table?
Everyone's always going to have a seat at my table. We are better when we move forward together. And I think that's a big problem that I think a lot of folks have. For whatever reason, to uplift one group, why does one group have to be pushed back or left behind? Or we build up one group and another group has to be demonized. We don't have to do that in order for all of us to move forward together. And that's one of the reasons why things break down. Because think about it, if group green is being uplifted now moving forward, but group red is being demonized and put down, of course you're going to have that swell of upheaval and anger and angst, and now you have this explosion. That's a lot of what's going on right now. We need to make everybody together and push everybody forward together, and make sure everybody has the resources they need so that they can move forward.
Awesome. Now, before I ask you to think about the first 100 days of your term, now I want to ask you to think way down the road. I want you to visualize having won this election, served your term, and I want to ask, what does this city look like having had a Rachel Green in office?
Well, if I have it my way, everybody in the world will know about the wonderful, wonderful city of Millville, New Jersey. They're going to talk about their schools and how wonderful and accomplished they are. They're going to talk about the beautiful neighborhoods and how everyone is wanting to purchase a home in our wonderful neighborhood. We're going to have the best of the jobs coming in that our best and our brightest, our young will want to live here and stay here and not move away. We're going to want everybody, from our seniors to our young ones that are just starting school, that everybody's going to have the resources and the tools they need to be successful. And more than anything, I want folks to walk down the street and speak to their neighbors and genuinely have that connection. I know we hear so many times, our parents and grandparents mentioned before, when they talk about the time where you could leave your door open and borrow milk from your neighbor. We want to be able to have that connection again and bring that back and have that happen more readily in Millville.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you a couple of fun questions.
All right, let's do it.
What's one thing in Millville that's a tradition, event, or food that brings you joy? Something that's special for Millville and it brings you joy.
Okay. Well, first, I can't cheat on my husband, who's a phenomenal cook. So if I mention any other eatery or anything, I'm probably going to get in trouble at home. But I will say in Millville, we have some of the most wonderful festivals, the most wonderful parades during the holidays. And I absolutely love the holidays. I love that time of the year. I love the tradition of it all. And I love the way we decorate the town and that sense of love and joy that's in the community. Now, when it comes to food, oh my goodness, Millville is very diverse in its offerings of food. We have a wonderful, wonderful Latino cuisine and soul food cuisine. So we have a little bit of everything, I'll be honest with you, that we sample on. But more than anything, it's just the fresh produce and fruits and vegetables that you're just able just to get almost anywhere here in the town. That's some of the most wonderful things about Millville. And just think of the wonderful homemade dishes that you can make just based off of that.
Okay. It sounds like a beautiful town.
It is. It has, and that's why we moved here. It has such wonderful, wonderful potential, and willing, as they say, God willing to the voters. If I have the opportunity to represent, I look forward to spotlighting them.
Okay. Well, I want to talk about young Rachel for a minute. What was her first job? What was her first job, and what did it teach you about leadership and hustle?
Oh my goodness. My first job, I worked for Roy Rogers. I don't know if y'all remember the chain Roy Rogers. I think there's a few still out there. That's where I worked. And you know what? It taught me to work hard, resilience, people skills. You meet all types of folks walking through, coming through and being, clients coming through and receiving food, as they come through the line. So, it teaches you how to be able to deal with different types of personalities and, how to pivot, if someone's happy, someone's angry, how to, hopefully when they leave the restaurant, be able to say they had a good experience there. So, that was my first little job, working, in a retail restaurant like that, a chain, and again, hard work and resiliency and good communication skills when it comes to talking to different types of people.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this. What's a piece of advice that you got from a sister? And this sister can be your mama, your grandmama, an aunt, a friend, what your sister, if you have one, or just a sister that you have been given. So what's a piece of advice you carry with you into this work that another sister given you?
Especially in this arena of public life and politics. My mother always said, baby, I always hear it in my head whenever something gets a little difficult or get a little pushback or the doors are closing. And she always would say to me, remember, you want it. It's not them. It's not what they're going to give to you. It's what you want. And if you want it, you're going to have to go for it. You're going to have to work hard for it, and you're going to have to be tenacious, and you can't take no for an answer. So that was one of the things that I always take with me when I'm going after something, and I start to have that moment of, oh, woe is me. Why is this not working? Blah, blah, blah. Nope. You know what? Get yourself together, Rachel. Dust yourself off, come up with a good plan, and go for it. Go for what you want and be resilient in it. I would say another key thing that I share as a woman of a certain age now with young women is know who you are, know what you want, and know how to go after it. Have a plan in place to do so. And you know what? Don't allow folks to deviate you from your plan, because sometimes people can't see that vision. Everybody gives God gives everyone their gifts, and your gift might be a good leader, or your gift might be you're great at IT, or you're a great mother. That's your gift. And whatever your gift is, you make sure you shine bright in that gift and you go for it. And you don't let anybody deviate you from your path.
Okay. And you know what? I'm gonna take a question from the audience. We're almost at our time, but I'm gonna let this be our last question before we tell people how to find you. We have Sister Anna Marie Booth. She just dropped this question. She said, "Are there others running for the same position? And if over now?"
Oh, that's a great question. Actually, in this particular race, there are 19 of us, if you could believe that, in the race for this particular position. There's actually 5 positions open and 19 candidates. The reason why the voters should vote for me, and of course 4 other individuals, because I'm going to need 4 other individuals to be able to work with me to get this great work done, is because of my background and level of experience that I bring to the table. Not only do I have the educational background, I have the lived experience, as well as I've learned after my many years of being on this earth, that you have to listen. You have to be able to not think you know everything. You have to be a lifelong learner, and you have to be able to be somebody that's going to listen. So that's one of the things with me. I will always fight for the citizens of Millville. When you have me as your commissioner, I am going to be a fierce advocate for the citizens of Millville. Always. You will always have a staunch champion in me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, when is your election?
My election is November 4th. So I hope if if you happen to be anybody from Millville that's listening this evening, I would love to have some support with your volunteerism. If you're able to financially donate, please do. I think we have my link to be able to drop in the chat for you through ActBlue. But if not, please go to Rachel Green from MillvilleCityCommissioner.com, and you're able to sign up to volunteer or volunteer there at the website.
Well, thank you, Sister Rachel. We appreciate you taking the time out of your busy campaign schedule to join us for this candid candidate conversation. We wish you the best of luck and best wishes in November. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And I think I have a couple of announcements that I need to roll through. So we have our calling all Black women candidates. Oh, we're going to do our candid candidate conference. Well, you know what? Y'all are acting up tonight. We're calling all Black women candidates. Let us amplify your voice. If you are a Black woman who is running for office in 2025, we want to amplify your leadership and share your candidacy. Sign up at the link, and you can be part of Black Women Candidates 2025. Don't miss out. And if you want to see the great work that Sisters Lead, Sisters Vote does around this. Go follow them on their Instagram page or on any of their social media pages so you can see all of the upcoming races that are being amplified and the candidates spotlighted who have won their election. We have Black women running and winning everywhere. And with that, thank you, and let's have a good night.